Hey, good morning, Leon. And within the blink of eye, we are back to our next podcast.
Yes, within the blink of an eye. And when did we last see each other?
I think for about just before we went to Taiwan, right? We saw ourselves in Taiwan and everything else. But in terms of podcast duty, it was before Taiwan. So probably 3 weeks ago before we did our last podcast.
Okay.
But we did enough.
Okay, good. I mean, Taiwan was pretty good.
Yeah, Taiwan was actually
a good time.
Really
food.
getting to know everyone else, moving around. Our first Michelin star restaurant. For me, right? For me in Taiwan. Actually second.
Oh, right. Okay.
I've been to 2 Michelin star restaurants and both in Taiwan. Surprising.
Really? Okay. So Taiwan sounds like your favorite place to go to for Michelin.
Well, after a long time went to Taiwan. In fact, I've been talking to my wife about she's coming up with her 40th and everything else. Getting back Taiwan because I just found out Taiwan is a moderate winter.
Yeah. Like Hong Kong.
So I thought that would be nice to get back in maybe December, January, right? Again, if wifey is happy, everything is happy, right? So we're talking about days of celebrations in Taiwan, but we also yesterday we had a day of celebration in Singapore with the Jen family.
Yes, Jen was founded on 4th of June, right? It's a big day. I mean, 4th of June is obviously recognized for another significant event in China. But for us, as far as we are concerned, it's Jen Day.
Yes. I mean, I've come on board quite recently. Of course, you've been around
a bit
longer. And of course, they take time to earmark this day, right? And every year we seem to do something different, right?
We did.
And last year was a little bit more to sustainability.
Yes, correct.
We gave out some gifts, which was actually designed by the child of a client, right? Can you remember the bags, disposable bag, right? So we knew a recyclable bag, right? And then we talked at a big team around sustainability and everything else, and I think that was really nice. And what did we do this year?
This year was interesting. I mean, I had an idea about sustainability,
which is not for the faint-hearted.
Which is not for faint. And I believe a visit to that place would change our minds completely. So, anyway, it's off the scope of this podcast. So in the end, I think what we did yesterday was very good. So we started in the morning with a visit to the SAVH, which stands for the Singapore Association for the Visually Handicapped. Right. So it's just beside Caldecott Station.
Very convenient.
Well, the strange enough, the address is it 47 Toa Payoh Rise?
I think so. Yes.
But it's not quite in Toa Payoh.
Yeah, it's not quite Toa Payoh. Correct. I mean, Toa Payoh is quite a big place, right?
It's quite a big place. So it's on the periphery of Toa Payoh. So it's the nearest MRT station would be Caldecott Rise, and one of our brilliant work colleagues told us just get out in MRT station and turn left. And you know what? Being good colleagues, we did. We trusted her. Her.
Unfortunately,
our trust was badly placed. Supposed to turn right. So for all of you out there, if you're visiting that place, take exit 2 of Caldecott Station.
Right.
Turn right,
and kid you not, within 30 minutes, you should see a gate.
30 meters. Yes.
30 meters, you see a gate. You go in. It's a huge compound. A few buildings. I remember there's a user hall. On the left side, I'm not sure maybe there's a more functional hall, right?
I don't.
And the purpose that we were there for was dining in the dark, lunch.
Right. So that place looks like one of those old military camps that you see.
Primary school.
or it could be a primary school, right? So we were there for a couple of things. We're there to support the association, right?
Yes.
We engaged in a couple of discussions with our host Georgie, who had been working there for a bit, taking care of the welfare matters of the members of the association.
Yes.
Remember the Lionel one? What did he?
So Lionel was an IT manager over there, and he actually, I thought that was a very interesting, a very eye-opening session, right? So he actually took some time to share how, as a visually challenged person, how does he carry out his role, right? So he actually taught us, right, how his laptop, right, is especially engineered, right, in terms of so it's all audio functions. So every button they press, it's supposed to read out what was on the screen and everything else. So there's a screen reader, screen reader app and everything else. And kudos to people who have designed this screen reader app, because it takes to understand a lot of nuances about the challenges a visually impaired person go through. And it's very difficult for me to really understand how he can actually go about doing his IT job and everything else, because you know that even people with all the faculties and everything else can't solve the IT issues. So it's a big challenge, right? But again, I think people understand. So he brought us through how the software works, helps him and everything else. And there was a question among our team as well, you know, how do you actually, actually from Georgie to him, right? So there was one question about how do you do shopping or something?
Or Grab, Grab,
so he actually uses his mobile phone to let us know how he actually orders a Grab around. And it was quite insightful. I mean, it was not straightforward, right? So there was a audio function to tell him all the things that he moves left or right. If I remember, he moves left or right. And he reads out what is the function of each icon on the page itself until he gets to what he wants. Then he clicks it, right, and he goes to, and it goes through sequentially until he finds a cab, right? He orders a cab, and obviously the instructions must relate to the cab owner that you know what,
he's visually handicapped.
It's visually handicapped, so the cab owner knows how to handle a visually handicapped person, right? And that's my learning from Lionel. Anything else you can add, Leon?
Not just from Lionel, but Georgie did take us through, like, for example, when you approach somebody who is visually handicapped, right? How should you help that person, right? First things first, if that person declines your help, don't feel rejected, because it could be that that person is very familiar with the place he or she is going to, right?
Correct, yeah.
So even with your best intention, that person may feel like he or she does not need your help, but it's okay.
So respect the person.
Respect the person, right? I mean, for all you know, that person has been applying that route like 27 million times or something. Probably knows that place better than you do, even with your sight on, right?
Yes.
And then of course, like, should that person decide to take your help, get your assistance, okay, let that person hold you by the elbow.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Remember, don't hold the hands.
Don't hold the hands.
You're not meeting them.
You're not meeting a girlfriend or boyfriend.
You're not couples or anything else, so they don't like to be held in their hands. And that's a very big takeaway for me. Big takeaway for me, because I've always felt, when you're public MRTs, everything else, how do you actually approach someone?
I do have a personal experience on this, right? So many years ago, right, I was trying to help somebody who is visually impaired, and I thought I should be holding her hand, where is an auntie, right? And in the end, she let go of my hand to hold me near on my forearm, which George is saying, yes, some elderly ones would want to hold you on the forearm for better balancing. So now I get it. So that this was a good piece of awareness I took out of Georgie's sharing yesterday.
Right. So Georgie also extended a sharing by telling us, if you're going to help someone, if there's how do you help him and put him, if he's going to climb up a stairs, right? Those kind of obstacles and everything else. And while she was going through this, I'm not sure whether you noticed or not, there was actually a lady, a bit senior, was actually jumping around and actually hurrying out of the door, held on by someone else. And my God, she was visually handicapped, but she was walking so fast.
She was walking at Usain Bolt speed.
And she was stylishly dressed, with the sunglasses and everything else. And that leads me to think, actually, she looks as normal as anyone would see.
She was walking very fast, so obviously with the help of
but she was going to places, man.
Correct.
She was going to places, and that was really nice, encouraging to see.
That was encouraging. So I mean, I guess obviously losing your sight is probably one of the most challenging things that can happen to anybody, right? It's also consoling to know that even with the constraints, they can work around some of these things, like for example using IT to maneuver around a computer, to order, to get transportation, and possibly to do some shopping.
I mean, a big part of this Founders Day, I would say, right, which I've come to realize is for us to take that time to appreciate something, learn something, have a different perspective, right, towards the environment, towards other people, and everything else. So, in light of the motto itself, right? So our goal was to appreciate how, for a certain period of time, right, how the visually handicapped or challenged people actually go through a certain part of their life, a very important part of life to majority of Singaporeans, eating.
Correct. Oh, talking about that. Oh, I never thought eating would be such a chore.
Okay.
You know,
I would have used that word. Okay, but carry on.
It was a chore, right? I mean, most of the time, you know, we take for granted. We sit down, we get our dishes served to us. You know, we pick up our utensils very easily. We may pour ourselves a drink.
If you notice, most of the time, if you're doing a TV dinner, right, your eyes is on the TV.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
your hands is automated.
You're sighted, but you're blind.
Yes, you're sighted, you're blind. Yeah, right.
But we, you know, do you want to take us through the process of dining in the dark?
Yeah. So we came there to dine in the dark. So we led up to a second floor where that's where we're going to. So it's a dark room. So we have to enter a dark room, but we're entering batches of people, right? You put your hands in front of the other person to lead you in. So once you go into that room, you're not supposed to bring any shiny objects. Preferably mobile phone is switched off. Not preferably compulsory.
Not compulsory.
Right? They were a little bit kind. I've been to another place where you got to put all your obstacles in a locker room because the experience matters, right? Any light actually spoils the manners, right? And then so they were led in the room in small batches, everything else. Sat down, right? Patiently, slowly sat down and everything else. And obviously, once you sat down, everything else, people becomes comfortable. By the time we got into the room, it was a boisterous affair, right? There was noise everywhere and everything else. In fact, the person who was in charge of the food that day, right? The food was catered, of course, but serving us and tending to our needs and everything else. And to tell everyone of us to quieten down for a while.
Yeah. But I mean, personally, for me, it was a surreal experience. Look, most of the time we relied on our sight very much.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
We're heavily dependent.
I mean, everything that you do starts with your sight.
Correct. So, for example, some restaurants, you know, they put in so much effort into presentation because they know the sight comes first, right? The sight in terms of enjoyment, which is why packaging, right? Yeah. A lot of, you know, packaging is all about the sense of sight, appealing to the sense of sight, not to the smell, not to the touch. All the time is the sense of sight.
Right.
You look at, say, the food halls in, let's say, Japan.
Yeah.
Why are they laid out symmetrically with colors on one side and then another different color on the other? It's all for the sight, right? Right. But we were denied that for 90 minutes.
For 90 minutes, yeah.
For 90 minutes.
Experience
so we had to
minutes.
rely on our other senses, maybe the sense of smell, and I realized Richie's, my dog's sense of smell is better than mine. Right?
We do have some colleagues whose sense of smell is quite strong, right?
And the sense of taste.
Yeah, sense of taste.
Most of us, you know, I mean, when we're in normal dining, we know what we're eating before we even put it in. Right?
Yeah. But there's one thing I want to add on as well. Communicating. Because we're going to pass around.
Pass around.
Remember the exercise of passing around the vessel where the juice.
Right.
So you're going to tap on the person next to you. And then let him know, hey, this is the juice. I'm passing it to you, and the person has to communicate back to you. Okay, I got it. I'm taking from you.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So how would you think that you actually pour your glass of juice without spilling it over? I mean, it's a very small exercise.
It's a very small exercise.
But we're surprised that a lot of people needed to be told how to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
including myself, right? Imagine you pour. Put your finger in. So
here's a fingertip.
It's a fingertip that the waters come out.
And then obviously when you pour, you gotta be a bit slower than normal because you don't want, you know, because of due to a late reaction on a fingertip, you don't need to spill over on the table, right?
Right.
So I think we got served 3 courses.
Let's not talk about what the course constitutes.
That's okay. But suffice to say, the first course was a soup.
Yeah, right.
Okay. The second course was a carbohydrate-driven dish.
Yes.
And the third course was a dessert, right?
Yes, so the dessert. Yeah,
I think the soup.
And then you have a beverage, a coffee or a tea.
Beverage, yeah, correct. So the soup was in a way not too difficult. So I guess one of the challenges is, you know, when you hold the bowl of soup from the server.
Yes.
You want to make sure you don't want to spill over on your lap or something.
Yeah. Right? I mean, to let everyone know, right? No one spilled anything over. No plates were broken. Everyone came out unhurt.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
That was amazing.
Okay.
And you know, obviously with soup, it's warm. Thankfully, it wasn't piping hot, right? So if there was an accident, it could be could be a bit painful. Yeah.
So moving to the protein dish I felt was a bit more challenging, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of proteins on
a couple of proteins
on the plate itself,
and a cup of the.
And there's a lot of conversation going on. Right? Everyone is saying that I found this protein. And the other person, are you sure? I don't have this protein.
It's like, were we corner or something?
Yeah. So there's a lot of interchanges going on.
But the thing is, again, we take for granted when we sit down and have a meal, we know where the plate is, where the proteins or the carbs are, right? But yesterday, you almost have to scoop in the blind your carbs and the protein. And you don't know, like, are you wasting? Are you finishing?
Are you dropping something
off your plate? Right?
Yes.
Could it all end up on the floor, right?
Yeah. So that was a nice challenge. That was a nice challenge. And then, of course, after that, we had salad after that.
Well, we have a salad.
But even the salad was a bit of a tasty refining because it was a mix of a lot of things inside there. And someone complained they didn't have this fruit. Someone said they had additional fruit which no one else had. So it's interesting jousting, right?
And then it made me sort of like doubt my taste bud a bit because that person beside me said, I tasted this. I went, is it?
So, but it was good because for once, I mean, I think Leon will appreciate this a lot because Leon is a foodie like me as well, but obviously he has more of Instagram following than me. But you could hear for once people talking about food at the lunch table. People are talking about the food and appreciating the food and everything else. So I think that something comes through, right? When you don't see all the other senses are elevated or has to be elevated, you could feel the tastefulness coming out, right? I would say the dishes we had were really tasteful enough. Right? I mean, we're not talking Michelin star, but a good lunch and everything else. We did follow up with a nice dessert,
with a nice dessert,
which everyone loved.
And I think everybody got a
different
slightly different dessert, which is why I tasted this and that person doesn't taste it, and the person tastes that I didn't get taste. But the dessert was in a way easier.
Yes.
Because it's in a small cup, so you roughly know what dessert that is, right?
And and after the whole lunch, they actually gave us, I think, about a minute plus for us to experience how a blind actually
watch a movie. Yes, correct.
Watches a movie, and can you remember what's a movie?
Lion King.
Right, exactly. So it was an audio of Lion King.
Yeah.
And for a moment, if you actually listen to what they were saying in the background music, could you imagine the movie?
Yeah, which brings me to sort of like a related topic, because at some football stadiums, they do have a section dedicated to the visually impaired. So the commentary, there's commentary, because obviously when you go to a football stadium, there's no commentary, but there's a commentary telling obviously the visually challenged spectators where the ball is, who's kicking the ball now, right? What's happening?
Right.
I also saw recently on the Facebook a posting of a mom and a child, both Liverpool fans, at Anfield. The child is visually handicapped, so the mom was describing to the child every single move, like the de facto commentator, right?
But I've seen some stories of that. Okay, again with Liverpool, I think they're more friendly probably maybe. I think there was a story that came out with the best mate who always brings his friend. Who was,
I think I've seen it. I've seen it too.
Always together with him, and then he's always explaining the shows and then some goal.
Correct.
I don't know what words they used to explain, but you could see the emotions coming out with the blind person, and he's really like he's with the masses cheering. He's like one of them, not an exception of them.
Correct. And to be honest, I mean, I think I now remember seeing that too. And my admiration and my respect goes out to the one with the sight who's doing all the explaining, right? I hope they're blessed with a long and fulfilling life.
Yeah, what a guy.
What a guy.
So I think that came towards our end of the lunch and everything else, and that was really nice. We had to go off quickly to some other the second part of our Gen Day and everything else. But as we left the building, what I saw, there was a lot of facilities they have, right? So just a very quick word about what the association does. They train the people. They train the people for certain vocations, right? And hopefully they also say that's very difficult to hire them in certain vocations. We understand them, right? So they look forward to help. These kind of things when they go there and engage them with lunch, you actually help them indirectly, right?
Correct.
Because the money goes towards training them and doing a lot of things. They do have other services. So I took a walk around Lyon, and they have a training center. They have a library. They have a training center which actually allows people to actually demand their services for home massages.
No,
Home massages. So anyone who needs a massage service and everything
Yep.
else, may actually think of a blind man massage, which
Yep.
seems to be one of those things which is quite heralded out there, right? So if you have time, Caldecott, MRT station, exit number 2, 20 to 30 meters. Turn right, not left, right? And I hope you can jump in there for a visit anytime soon. I mean, with your family as well, right?
Yep.
And with that, and within the next blink of eye,
We say ciao.
ciao.